and welcome to another episode of Tea Party Tuesdays, where it may be a Tuesday, but in my world, it's always a tea party. And today, we have a very special episode because we have two special guests. We have the amazing Victor Franco, and he's from the R2 Builders Club, and he brought R2d2 to the... Thank you so much, R2, and thank you, Victor, for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
And I have to apologize. Kate Middleton sends her regards. Prince George, they wanted to come today. Of course, they wanted to meet you. They wanted to meet R2. But Prince George loves Star Wars, and they wanted to catch up. So they're having a binge watching session on all of the Star Wars movies today. So they send their regards and hope to be here next time.
Well, as long as they're watching Star Wars, that's okay.
Now, Victor, you are a part of the R2 Builders Club.
Right.
So this is an R2 unit that you built, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, this is a typical representation of what the club does, and this is my R2.
Now, tell us your background. How did you get started, and how did you join the R2 Builders Club?
So way back in 2005, when Revenge of the Sith came out, there was a promotion that Walmart was doing, and I went out there to buy the special thing that you could get only at Walmart. And when I got there, there was all of these Star Wars characters that were appearing. I didn't know who the 501st was at the time, but they had the 501st with the Stormtroopers and Darth Vader, and they had some good guys, the Rebel Legion, and lo and behold, there was this R2 unit running around the parking lot where they had the booths set up. And I thought, oh my gosh, my favorite character of all time is here. And so I grabbed my camera and I started taking pictures of it. I mean, there's all these little kids swarming the droid, and then there's me going, oh my gosh, it's R2d2. After about a half hour of just being amazed by this R2, somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, it's me. and it turned out to be my friend Mike Senna. Well, he's now my friend. I didn't know him at the time. And he had the remote control in a backpack, and he was entertaining the kids and the adults and everybody that loved interacting with R2. And I was asking him, how did you do this? Tell me. So then another half hour of just peppering him with questions, and he told me about the R2 Builders Club and how to join it.
So how do you join the R2 Builders Club?
Luckily, it's super simple to join. There's a website called astromech.net, and it's free to join. And once you join, you have access to blueprints the measurements were all taken off of a real prop, so they're very accurate blueprints. It's quite overwhelming at first, but once you join and you spend some time browsing, you go, wow, this is doable.
So, speaking of overwhelming, I would be incredibly intimidated looking at blueprints. How did you even get started? Do you have a background in building things?
I really don't. So my background is in software engineering. So even though it's kind of an engineering background, it doesn't really help me physically build R2. So luckily, a couple things. One is my friend Mike kind of mentored me in my build. And it is overwhelming in that you realize the magnitude of work once you start working on it. You kind of think, well, maybe this will take a year or two. And then once you're 3 months into it and you finally built the first thing and you go, wow, this is going to be a commitment.
Now tell us about your second droid, because you have two R2 units, right?
I do. So as I was finishing this R2, I kind of realized I picked up a lot of skills as I was going, and I got better and better at woodworking and other things. And I thought, if I could do this over again, I'm sure I'd do an even better job. And I decided I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to do a better job. So I did build a second R2. And I can make either one of the first droid or the second droid look like the red droid that breaks down R5D4. So I can put a different dome on him and put some red overlays on the panels that need them. And so suddenly he looks like a different droid. So I can actually have the two droids at the same time. But usually I have them just set up as R2D2. But I have that option. And so the second droid, in my opinion, did turn out nicer, but I have an affection for this one since it was the first one, and he has so many events that he's done. So I usually take this one out.
Tell us about the mission of the R2 Builders Club and all the events you do.
Well, I will say that in my opinion, R2 is the ambassador of happiness. His job is to make people happy. And so whenever I can do that, I try to do it. So just 2 days ago, I was at the Children's Hospital in Orange County visiting patients. Mainly conventions and the charitable work, and it's not just the R2 Builders, it's the 501st, the Rebel Legion. All the Star Wars clubs are way big into charitable events.
I heard that it's R2d2's birthday soon. He's turning 10 years old. So R2, it's not today. And Victor, your birthday's not today, right?
No.
So it's your unbirthday party here. So happy unbirthday, R2. Thank you for spending your unbirthday with me today. And I wish I could say I made you this cake, but I made it R2-like because I brought my own R2 figure just for you to celebrate your unbirthdays. So let's eat some cake.
All right.
And while we're eating the cake, I have some questions about building R2. So maybe like some R2 stats. How long did it take to build R2?
So this guy took me a year and 10 months, so almost 2 years, and I worked on it almost every night after work for at least a couple of hours, and then on weekends I'd work on it quite a bit.
If you don't mind sharing, just an estimate, how much does it cost to build an R2? I mean, is it something that, you know, is super expensive? Does it vary?
It varies based on materials, so I estimate, and after a while I stopped keeping track because it was depressing me, but I estimate I spent about $5,000 on this one.
So what about for those of us that want to know more about how to build a droid? Do you have, any more advice?
Well, I actually blogged every single day that I worked on R2. So I have a blog, and from the very first time, the Walmart event I was telling you about in 2005, I have photos from that day. So that's the very first entry of my blog all the way up until today. And the URL for that blog is vfranco.blogspot.com.
I have a question that I ask everyone when they come have a tea party in here. And my favorite Alice in Wonderland quote is, "Why sometimes I've believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast." So I want to ask you, what's one impossible thing that you are believing in today?
Well, I'd like to believe that one day I will get to drive either R2d2 or BB-8, the real one that they use in the movies, for either an event or some sort of movie or commercial. That would be cool to do. So
I believe it, because when you believe the impossible, all of a sudden the impossible becomes possible. So I believe that you are going to be driving the real R2 or BB-8 at an event one day, and I hope I get to be there.
that would be cool.
Me and Kate and Prince George will be there.
Yeah.
After they watch all the Star Wars movies.
That's right, and we'll quiz them to make sure they really did.
Oh, definitely. R2, will you be there too?
Oh yeah, he'll be there. He might be jealous if the real R2 is out there, but
Oh,
maybe we can get him to sub in. They won't realize that it's him instead of the real one.
That's okay. You will always be my R2.
R2.
Okay, well, Victor, R2, thank you so much for joining me today for Tea Party Tuesdays, and thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a very curious day.